world, over the world, over the world. We're traveling all over the world, over the world, over the world, over the world. We're traveling all over the world, over the world, over the world, over the world. Yeah.
New levels, new heights I'm chasing. Travel worldwide, different fears I've been facing. Tribulation for my God, I embrace it. Now it's a plane, I return in a spaceship. Giving praise to the Father, the Superior. All around the world, we can touch it in Nigeria. They're hungry for the word cafeteria. Send a puppet shot of Babylon, the exterior. It's a real love, no faking. Them around the world, I'm trying to remember faces. Touch when it's all gas, no breaking. Cause they love God and it's all they partaking.
They can talk and they can hate on me. Reaching places they will never see. UK to Ghana, Germany, to reach my family. Shout out to the Booster Club. We come around your town, get used to us. Your donation never get abused by us. And God we trust, and that's why you believe in us.
We're heading out to wake them up, and we always giving praises to the one above. And we're grateful for your works, so we show you love. All praises to the Father for the Booster Club. Now we travel all over the world, over the world, over the world, over the world. We travel all over the world, over the world, over the world, over the world. We travel all over the world, over the world, over the world, over the world. We travel all over the world, over the world, over the world, over the world. Yeah.
Hey, shalom, family. Most High Christ bless you. This is Bishop Kanai. The album is entitled Journey to Freedom. This album, honestly, was a collective of brothers and sisters.
You are now flying.
Righteous man, all is 7 times and rises up again. Again, 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 again. Our Father art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Young doors of me slave dragons, I fight demons on plate man. Oh, I could have even in the 8th grade. Cause I'm stationed like a 98 wagon. The modern day saints with that action. Just listen to my stanzas. Demons staying close. I think they think I'm handsome. But I got my guard up. I hit them with my hands up. Watch how they sway. You ain't got the answers. Now say you're trying to hit me. My spirit told kung fu with me. Let's do it again like Sydney. You toss to and fro, that's a frisbee. You'll probably get stoned like kidneys. This song get busy. I'm dodging punches like a champ. You can call me Ali. They trying to find me, but the Holy Ghost standing by me. Repelling darts of the wicked. They swung and missed it. I get my right hook for the return and I watch them kiss it. Ow! Kung fu. Like 1-2s, I'ma bring it back. Put that baby in your ear like my name Mac. It's just Sue, I flip through, I hit you. Cutting through the flesh, the sword, deep for the tissue. The gospel, the good news, I'm get your issue. These demons, little dogs, call them shih tzu. Now let me pray that God, what I've been through, I'm in to put all of these dogs in their candles. Let me clear my throat. The Lord's campaign, he don't need no votes. Wow. We let our light shine, no votes. Yeah. The Lord concentrate and burn in my leg like toast. They say it's hate speech, but the Bible we quote. Back against the ropes, this time I won't choke. I fight the good fight, and now I'm in the boast. Homies know I'm holy cause I ride with the ghosts. Oh, we get the kicking, the time is ticking, the end of days. Jordan and Pippin, they bullshitting, but we don't play. The world is tripping, they superstitions is the way. We make a difference, we got the vision, we see the way.
Our Father art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. A righteous man falls 7 times and rises up again.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and glory forever. Amen. All right, welcome. Shalom, Mosai Christ bless. I'm Officer Pat GL. For those who just saw me in Daily Bread, yep, you back with me again. All right. All right, so today's class is called The Comfort of Evil. All right, the comfort of evil. Because, we see the times approaching, we see the signs of the times is happening, right? But we got to make sure that we ourselves is not comfortable with the evil. Well, you may say, well, I'm not comfortable with evil. Well, a lot of us we are. And, you know, we we think that because we not partaking the evil that we're not comfortable with it. Well, we're gonna find out. Let me get 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16 first. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16. After that, pull up the first article. Let's see some evil that goes around the world.
The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness.
So all scripture is given for reproof, for instruction in righteousness. Read.
That the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works.
All right, now let's put up the first article. Read.
6 sails inside Paido Paradise, the Gambia, where sex beasts are buying African children and toddlers to rape.
Now that was posted in 2020. All right, y'all know what happened during 2020. Now you think these beasts stopped doing this? Hell no, they did not. So that's one of the evil that's going around. All right, around the world, where you got these Edomite, these beasts going over there. Go up. Go, yeah, to the image. Go down. Yeah, you see him walking with obviously a Jake brother, a young boy. What the hell is Edomite doing with that? Read. I mean, next image. Look at that. Keep going. So Gambians, read that.
Children sold for £2. Our investigation comes as experts warn that the economic crisis unleashed by the collapse of travel firm Thomas Cook is helping turn the former British colony into the pedophile paradise.
That's what they want. They want pedophile paradise. That's where everywhere they go, they try to pass the LGBTQ stuff, and they want pedophilia to be legal, so they don't find guilty. They're not found guilty. Read.
Where perverts can operate unchecked.
That's what they want. They want to operate unchecked. That's what's going on. Now let's go to the next one, the next article. Read.
From Independent News. Mother charged with murder after cooking 2 sons alive in oven and sending video to father.
Now you see that, right? Scroll down. Obviously, our people are sick. They need help. Our people need help. All right. The atrocities that we go through, no psychologists, no doctors, no nothing. Nobody has evaluated us to make sure that we are right. And then what we do? We lash out. We don't know how to act. We don't have the scriptures. We don't have the right medicine. The pastor's not giving us the right medicine. And what happens? This. Scroll down. So that's another evil. Read.
A mother has been accused of murdering her youngest sons by placing them in an oven and turning it on before sending footage of the aftermath to their father.
Now let's go to the next article. And this happens like almost all the damn time. You could just look it up. Mother does this, mother does that. You see it happening. Read.
Number of young African girls trafficked to Europe for prostitution reaches alarming levels.
Now you see that? You keep seeing it. They keep going after the lowly, the people who has no armies, like nobody will fight for them. No government to stand up for them, and they're taking advantage of us. Now you got young girls being trafficked for prostitution. Yeah, I think all the prostitution, all the kidnapping that kept happening here, yeah, I think it was just happening for fun. Nope. Let's go to the next and more evil. So now you got pedophilia, you got prostitution, you got mothers killing their children. Next one.
From United Nations, human trafficking in West Africa. 3 out of 4 victims are children, says the UNDOC report.
Scroll down. So trafficking, human trafficking. Read. That was 2021.
The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, jointly with the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, today presented the key findings of the United Office on Drugs and Crime 5th Global Report on Trafficking in Persons to stakeholders from the government of Nigeria, civil society organizations, and international partners. The report shows that children represent more than 75% of trafficking victims.
That's it. You can stop there. So the evil is not going to stop. It's going to increase. It's going to keep increasing, because God said the wickedness of men in their heart is evil continually. Let me get Genesis chapter 6. Genesis chapter 6. Let's see what God says about man's heart. Let's read verse 5.
The book of Genesis, chapter 6 and verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
So that's what's in man's heart. Man's heart is always evil. Now go to Matthew 24, read verse 12. Man's heart always wants to do evil. That's why when Christ said there's none good but one, that is God. Because nobody who walking around talking about I'm a good person, what the hell you mean you're a good person? What's the good that you do? Only God is good. We are comfortable with the evil that we see around this world. Believe it or not, we are comfort in it. And I'm going to show you why I say that. Go to Matthew 24, verse 12.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
The love of many shall wax cold because of sin. Iniquity has abounded, the love of many shall wax cold. And who's getting more affected by it? Us. We are the ones who's being taken advantage of. Whether it's here in Babylon, Africa, Europe, it doesn't matter. Wherever you go, where our people are, that's where the advantage is taken of. They take our stuff, they take our land, take our children, take our women, take our men. They do everything to us because iniquity has abound. Now go to Deuteronomy 8. But something happened. Something happened to us. Deuteronomy 8, we're going to read verse 6 through 17.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8 and verse 6. Therefore, thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, and to fear him. For the Lord thy God bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks of water, of fountains and depths that spring out of valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley, and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of oil, olive, and honey.
So the Lord is going to bring us to the land of milk and honey. He promised us after he took us out of Egypt, he says, I'm going to bring you a place where you're going to have abundance of things, and the land will be fruitful. Read.
A land wherein thou shalt eat bread without scarceness. Thou shalt not lack anything in it. A land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills thou mayest dig brass. When thou hast eaten and art full, then thou shalt bless the Lord thy God for the good land which he hath given thee.
So after you eat, after you full, after you feel good, you're supposed to bless God for the land that he given you. But what happened? Read. Keep reading.
Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God.
Beware what?
Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God.
We forgot God. That's what started to happen. We started to forget God. The God who made everything for us. The God who said, listen, I'm going to save you out of captivity. right after the Exodus, we forgot God. We saw all the miracles. We saw everything that he did, and we forgot him. Why? Because we got full. Read.
Beware that thou forget not the Lord thy God, in not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. Lest when thou hast eaten and art full, and hast built goodly houses and dwelt therein, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied, then thine heart be lifted up, and thou forget the Lord thy God.
What happens when your heart be lifted up?
And thou forget the Lord thy God.
When your heart is lifted up, you forget God. If you forget God, guess what else you forget? His commandments. Go to Proverbs chapter 30, read verse 8 and 9. You forget God, you forget his commandments also. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 8 and 9. Because our people here in Babylon, in Egypt, guess what? We're being fed. Read.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 30 and verse 8. Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 8. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain.
So you see what you could fall into? When you start to be fed and being taken care of, you start to say, who is God? My hands brought me these riches. I take care of myself. Where is God? What commandments? That's what God says. In their affliction, they will seek me early. Now go to Psalm 73. Read verse 1 through 12. Psalm 73, verse 1 through 12. So we forget God because we are being taken care of. We are being fed. We eating. So you good. Read.
The book of Psalms, chapter 73 and verse 1. Truly, God is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked.
So that's what we start to do. We start to look at the foolish and see how they prosper. And we like, damn, I'm here serving God. And look at them doing wickedness. Read.
For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men.
And we see it around the world. Our people see the world, and they're like, man, look at these people living lavishly, not knowing that this rich is not going to last. We got to start putting that in our head. This stuff is not going to last. Yes, it's good to have. Yes, you have it for a moment, but do not be hooked to it. Don't be attached to that stuff. If it breaks, it breaks. Even if you buy a car today, you get into a car accident tomorrow, the car is gone. Don't be sorrowful about it. Yeah, you might be mad for a little bit, but come on. You just got to think ahead. Always think of the future. Think of the kingdom. Read.
Therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covered them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish.
So they have everything that they need. So how do they think? They're prideful. They do violent stuff. They're so rich that they're not comfortable with normal things anymore. Read.
Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression.
They do what?
And speak wickedly concerning oppression.
You see that? When you start to be fed, when you taken care of, when you see evil, you're like, what evil? What oppression? What are you talking about? We good, man. We good on this side. Read.
They speak loftily. They set their mouths against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Therefore his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. And they say, how doth God know? And is there knowledge in the Most High?
You see that? Now they start dissing God. How does God know? Does God have any knowledge of what's going on? Read.
Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches.
They prosper in this world. They increase in riches. Go to Exodus chapter 12, read verse 35 to 36. So something happened to us. We starting to envy the people. We envy sinners. We want to be like them. We see the evil that's going on, and we say, you know what? Nah, I don't want Christ to come back yet. I'm trying to get my riches. Nah, your mindset should not be like that. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Read.
The book of Exodus, chapter 12, and verse 35. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians.
So when we came out of Egypt, guess what we came out with? A whole bunch of riches. We were rich. We had abundance of all the Egyptians' riches. And guess what we did after that? We still murmur after God, to God. We still complain. Now let's see how God feels about sin. Get Psalms chapter 5. Matter of fact, go back to Genesis 6. Let's read verse 6 again.
The book of Genesis, chapter 6, and verse 6. And it repented the Lord that he made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man.
Read verse 5.
Verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
So when God saw that evil, what did he say? Read.
And it repented the Lord that he made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart.
It grieved him at his heart because the evil that we were doing. Read.
And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth.
Now let's get Psalms chapter 5, verse 4 through 6. So when God saw the wickedness, the evil, he said, damn, this thing is crazy out here, man. Y'all see how they're acting? We're about to destroy this whole place. God is not, he doesn't like evil. Read.
The book of Psalms, chapter 5. And verse 4.
Yep.
For thou art not a God that hath pleasure in wickedness.
Read it again.
For thou art not a God that hath pleasure in wickedness.
Read.
Neither shall evil dwell with thee. The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity.
Who does God hate?
Thou hatest all workers of iniquity.
Read.
Thou shalt destroy them that speaketh leasing. And the Lord will abhor the bloody and deceitful man.
God said he hates iniquity. He hates sin. He hates that stuff. Yeah, it's happening. But guess what? It's all for prophecy to be fulfilled. When God destroys this place, when God destroys everything, he's going to be justified. Nobody could say, well, God, how do you know that we're going to act like that if you don't give us a chance? Nobody could say anything. Nobody could say no nonsense. When God destroys this place, he's going to be justified. Now go to Judith chapter 5, read verse 17. Yep, go ahead.
The book of Judith, chapter 5, and verse 17. And whilst they sinned not before their God, they prospered, because the God that hateth iniquity was with them.
So God hates iniquity, and this is I believe Emmett not giving a history of our people, right? So when we did not sin against God, guess what? God saw, like, oh snap, they're doing the things I like. All praises, bless them. But when we sin against God, what did he say? Read.
But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their God was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. But now are they returned to their God, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate.
So when the heathens say, listen, when these people serve their gods, God going to fight for them. And when we break God's commandments, when we do the evil things that he hate, he doesn't fight for us. He does not defend us. He don't stand up for us at all because he hates sin. Go to Psalms 11, verse 5.
The book of Psalms, chapter 11, and verse 5. The Lord trieth the righteous, but the wicked and him that loveth violence, his soul hateth.
He hates both the wicked that love violence. He hates that person and he hates the action. God hates sin. You understand? God does not like it at all. He doesn't feel good about it. That's why he said he loves passing judgment. He loves it. Read.
Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire and brimstone, and an horrible tempest. This shall be the portion of their cup.
That's why when all that stuff come down here, it's justified. It's going to be fully justified by God. Brimstone, fire on the wicked of Babylon. 45, Psalm 45, verse 7.
The book of Psalms, chapter 45, and verse 7. Thou lovest righteousness and hatest wickedness. Therefore, God, thy God hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows.
You see that? God does not like that stuff. So if God has no pleasure in sin, he doesn't like it at all. He sees it. He wants to pass judgment on it. He wants us to rebuke it. He doesn't want to let it live. How should your mind be? We're going to get to that later. So now let's go to Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. So something happened, right? Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So now we got transferred to Egypt. Slavery. Egypt means slavery, hard bondage. All right? That's what we're doing in Egypt. That's what we're doing today in modern day Egypt. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
No man has been able to save us out of this modern day Egypt, so therefore we're still here. Now let's go to verse 45.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 45.
I think it's 48. 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
So while we're in modern day Egypt, we have to serve our enemies for everything that we want. Now go to Revelation chapter 12, read verse 14. So we're in Egypt, serving hard bondage, 1419, 1492, 1619, 2024. We still here. All right. We got people overseas still being sold. We are still in Egypt. But guess what? The people here and the people overseas are the same Israelites. We're living a two different lifestyle, two different reality. Read.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12, and verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
Israel was given 2 wings of a great eagle. Read.
That she might fly into the wilderness.
Luke 21:20, where Jerusalem was trodden down and we were scattered all over. Read.
Into her place where she is nourished for a time.
So we're scattered to a place where it's nourished for a time. Read.
And times. And
100 years, 200 years. Read.
And half a time.
50 years, so 350 years. Read.
From the face of the serpent.
So you see what happened here? We got nourished. We got nourished by the serpent. So what did God say? When you start serving your enemies for the one of all things, what do we begin to do? While we're being nourished, while we're being fed, while we're being given benefits, gifts here, what do you think is happening to us? Oh, we get a nice, we want our community, we want laws, we want certain things to be passed. You really think that this nation here is going to pass certain laws or give you certain stuff that's going to make you overthrow them or overpower them. Everything that they give you, even if it looks good, you can't see behind the fine print. But some way, somehow, they're going to profit off you. They're going to benefit off you. Because ain't nowhere in hell me has another nation, has Israel, would take food out of my own children's mouth and give it to another nation. That's the same way they think. So while we're being nourished here, you think it's good, but you don't understand. Oh yeah, give him this, give him that, give him stuff. They're rising up. Give him this. Come on, let them come down. Same thing they did with Snap. You understand? With Lyndon B. Johnson, same crap. So we're being nourished here. Go to Revelations 11, verse 8.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. Let's go to Leviticus 18, verse 20. Spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. Leviticus 18, read verse 20. Let's see what's happening in this modern day Egypt.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 20. Moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife, to defile thyself with her.
What is happening here in Babylon? Is marriage honorable? Is marriage honorable in Egypt, in this modern day Egypt? Hell no. All our people do is lay carnally with the neighbor's wife. Marriage are no longer kept honorable. Read verse 13.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind, as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death.
God says, listen, if y'all keep doing this sodomy stuff, y'all gonna get put to death. What is pushed here? Sodomy is pushed here. LGBTQ plus HIV, that is pushed here. That's and you know, a lot of people like to say, well, love is love, this and that. You know, LGBTQ, for some reason, they talk about love is love, but in all those letters, there's no H. There's no, heterosexual. A man who loves a woman and a woman who loves a man. That's what it is, right? There's none of that. They don't push that. They only push sodomy. Let's go to Genesis 18, verse 20.
The book of Genesis, chapter 18 and verse 20. And the Lord said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous.
Very what?
Very grievous.
So God said the sins of Sodom is very grievous. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 49. The sins of Sodom is very grievous to God. So guess what he did? He destroyed Sodom. But let's see how the Sodomites, the people of Sodom, were.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 49.
Yep, 49 and 50.
Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom. Pride, full of bread, fullness of bread.
Fullness of bread. So pride, fullness of bread, read.
And abundance of idleness.
Got nothing to do, read.
Was in her and in her daughters. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy.
They did not strengthen the poor or the needy, read.
And they were haughty and committed abomination before me. Therefore, I took them away, and as I saw good.
I took them away. Read that part again.
Therefore, I took them away as I saw good.
God said, listen, when you're prideful, when you have abundance of all things, when you're idleness teaches much evil. When you're haughty, God says, I'm going to take you away. We're in modern day Sodom and Egypt. Don't forget that. The serpent has been nourishing us. All right. Now, go to Malachi chapter 1, verse 2. So how is our state of mind while in Sodom and Egypt? This is how we think while we hear our people.
The book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 2. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us?
God said he loved us. That's why he sent his only son to die for us. For God so loved the world of Israel. That's how he showed he loved us. He didn't kill us. He didn't get rid of all of us. He said, I'm going to send my son to die for you. Read.
Was not Esau Jacob's brother?
Uh-huh.
Saith the Lord. Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau.
Now, what did Israel say? Look, how do you love us? Look at Esau. Why did God mention Esau there? Because we're looking at the Edomites. We see they're taking over, they're rising. It's the same thing here. You tell our people, God love you. God love me. Yes, God love you. They start envying sinners. They start looking at other people's life. They're thinking about prosperity. They say, God sure gives to those, he blesses those he loves. Look at me. How am I loved by God? 2 Ezra chapter 3, read verse 27.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 3, and verse 27. And so thou gavest thy city over into the hands of thine enemies, and their deeds than any better than any better than inhabit Babylon, that they should therefore have the dominion over Zion.
So God says, listen, thou givest thy city over unto the hands of thy enemies. Right? Psalm 83, Ishmaelites and the tabernacle of Edom. You see how they took over the land? We got kicked out of the land. So our people is like, if we got kicked out of the land and they're wicked, what is still doing in our land? So that's how we start to think. Our people start to say, how does God love us when he punishes us for doing wickedness? But these people over here, look at how they're living. Read.
For when I came thither and had seen impieties without number, then my soul saw many evildoers in this 30th year, so that my heart failed me. For I have seen how thou hast suffered them sinning.
So you see how we say? We say, we see how you let these people sin. Read.
And hast spared wicked doers, and hast destroyed thy people, and hast preserved thine enemies, and not signified it. I do not remember how this we may be left. Are they then of Babylon better than they of Zion?
So are the people here better than us? Are the Edomites here better than us, that God has not destroyed this place yet, that is full of abominations? You understand? We start to think like that. We start to say these things. What do you mean? What do you mean God is going to destroy this place? Man, get the hell out of here with that nonsense, man. Read.
Or is there any other people that knoweth thee besides Israel?
Are there anybody who knows you, God? Read.
Or what generation has so believed thy covenants as Jacob? And yet their reward appeareth not.
How come we don't look blessed? Read.
And their labor hath no fruit. For I have gone here and there.
He went everywhere.
Through the heathen. And I see that they flow in wealth.
So he goes to the heathens. He said they're flowing in wealth. So guess what our people do? They want to celebrate 4th of July. They want to do Christmas. They want to do Thanksgiving. They want to do all those things. They want to be partake of Babylon's lifestyle. Because if it works for them, surely it will work for us. That's how we start to think. We start to assimilate. Assimilation will destroy another nation. That's what it does. Assimilation will destroy another nation. So we start to look at them and we say, what? Read.
And I see that they flow in wealth and think not upon thy commandments. Weigh thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance.
So he says, weigh there the wickedness in the balance. See which one of us do more wickedness, them or us. Read.
And there's also that dwell in the world. And so shall thy name nowhere be found, but in Israel.
He said, listen, you will see that only your name is found in Israel. Because these other nations ain't thinking about God. They're not thinking about God. Everything that they do is contrary to God. They have idols to worship. Read.
Or when was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that Israel by name hath kept thy precepts, but not the heathen.
He said, listen, those people never kept your commandments. So why the hell are they blessed like that? That's what Edris is saying. And our people, we start to think that. We start to think that in the truth. You come in, you go into atrocities, you go into hard times, which is really nothing, like for real. Like, come on. You here. You're being nourished. Your house is better than some other people's house overseas. So what are you complaining about? You turn on the water, you turn off the water. You wake up at 3 a.m., you want to go get something to eat, you go get it. You understand? You could shower for 2 hours. You could shower for 3 hours. You could shower for 6 hours if you want to. Some other places, you shower, the water will run out. There's a drought. You understand? So, what the hell are we complaining about? We're being nourished. We're being fed here. The abundance of things is making us speak against God. Let's go to chapter 6, verse 54.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou mayest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen.
So we all come from Adam, right? We all come from Adam, and the people also, which is Israel, who God has chosen. Read.
All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing.
God said they are nothing. Read.
But be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them, like unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
So these people are nothing. God don't care about them. Read.
And now, O Lord, behold these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing.
These heathens that have never kept God's commandments, that have always had a reputation of being nothing. Read.
Have begun to be lords over us and to devour us.
Read.
But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands.
Read.
If the world now be made for our sake.
So if you made the world for all of us, read.
Why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure?
So he's like, damn, if you made the world for us, how come we can't possess an inheritance with it? How come we can't partake in the Lord and this world's blessing? No, the whole world was made for you. All right? But there's something that happened. Go to Sirach chapter 10, read verse 8. Sirach chapter 10, verse 8. Something happened.
The book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 8.
Yep.
Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from
is translated because of unrighteous dealing, injustice, riches gotten by deceit. Because of those things that we did, what happened?
The kingdom is translated from one people to another.
We cause it to happen. So when we complaining about the conditions that we in, who caused it? We caused it. So therefore, the kingdom is translated from one hand to another. Now let's go to Sirach 23, verse 18. So while that's happening, what do? We act like God don't exist. Because we're full. We mad. Read.
The book of Sirach, chapter 23 and verse 18. A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart, who seeth me? I am compassed about with darkness. The walls cover me, and nobody seeth me. What need I to fear? The Most High will not remember my sins.
So we started to say, God didn't think about me, man. God didn't worry about the sins that I do. Let me just keep going. Because we're not being punished swiftly. So we say, man, God ain't worrying about what I'm doing, man. Let me just keep going, man. He ain't even trying to bless us. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 12, read verse 21 and 22. So God is not even trying to bless us, man. Read.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 12 and verse 21. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged, and every vision faileth?
Read.
Tell them, therefore, thus saith the Lord.
That's it. Sorry. That's all I wanted. So that's why we started saying. We started saying, listen, God is not coming back. Christ is not coming back. How long he been dead for? You know how long I've been hearing that Christ is coming back? That's what we started saying. Man, Christ ain't coming back, man. Come on, where the money at, man? Where the guap at? It's time to make some money here. Where the money bag at? We said the prophecies is prolonged. We become blind to it. Bombs is dropping. When you turn on TV, you're seeing some gossip about Diddy. You're seeing some gossip about some other celebrities, and you fall for it. You fall for the trap. You don't even know you're in a trap. Go to Luke chapter 14, read verse 16.
The book of Luke, chapter 14 and verse 16.
You know what? Skip that. Let's go to Malachi chapter 3, read verse 13 through 15.
The book of Malachi, chapter 3 and verse 13. Your words have been stout against me, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, what have we spoken so much against thee?
So God is having a problem with it. He said, listen, y'all speaking against me. And then we say, what are we saying against you, God? Read.
Ye have said, it is vain to serve God.
What did we say?
It is vain to serve God.
Why? Because our people are not prospering. So they say it's vain to serve God. Read.
And what profit is it that we have kept his ordinance?
It said, what profit is there to us for us keeping his commandments? So give me that Christmas. Give me the Thanksgiving. Oh, we are having a Christmas party at the job? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm going to assimilate. Read.
And what profit is it that we have kept his ordinance, and that we have walked mournfully before the Lord of hosts?
Read.
And now we call the proud happy. Yea, they that work wickedness are set up. Yea, they that tempt God are even delivered.
You see what we say? We said, even those who disrespect you, God, those who do crazy stuff, they're still out here living. So what the hell am I going to keep my God's commandments for? Our mind to start deceiving ourselves because of abundance of stuff, the riches of this world. Listen, we're not saying it's okay to just be a poor bum, but don't let that stuff deceive you and forget God. Because when you see that stuff, when the evil start going around you, it's not going to bother you. You see the evil, you switch next channel, or it's like this now. Because, people don't really, young kids probably don't know about using a remote on TV like that. But they see evil. Oh, snap, somebody just got punched in the face. Whoop. Oh, snap, baby mama crying. Whoop. Oh. You don't say anything anymore. You see a little kid talking about bitches and hoes. He's young, talking about killing people. That's what we do. That's it on that script?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me get Job chapter 21, verse 7. So we say it's vain to serve God. Read.
The book of Job, chapter 21 and verse 7. Wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yea, are mighty in power? Their seed is established in their sight with them.
Even the kids grow up and have children and have inheritance. Read.
And their offspring before their eyes.
Uh-huh.
Their houses are safe from fear. Neither is the rod of God upon them.
You see that? He said, listen, they don't go through destruction like we go through. Read.
Their bull gendereth and faileth not. Their cow calveth and casteth not her calf. They send forth their little ones like a flock, and their children dance. They take the timbrel and harp, and rejoice at the sound of the organ. They spend their days in wealth, and in a moment go down to the grave. Therefore they say unto God, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways.
Read.
What is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit should we have if we pray unto him?
You see that? You see how they say, man, I got everything that I need. What the hell I need God for? What do I need God for? I got everything that I need. Go to Mark chapter 4. That's how the wicked of our people start to think. They don't understand. It's hard for a rich man to make it. They don't understand. Don't get comfortable with evil. You get comfortable with evil, you become immune to it. You start to do the evil and you don't even know. Read.
The book of Mark, chapter 4 and verse 18.
So this is the parable about the sower who sowed the seed. Read.
And these are they which are sown among thorns,
So this is the third kind of Israelites. Read.
such as hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word, and it become unfruitful.
So now the word is being choked inside you and you become unfruitful. Imagine somebody choking you. There's no breath coming out of you. You being choked. You become unfruitful. Life is taken out of you because of the cares of this world. You see people like, damn, I want to drive a car like that. I remember before I came into the truth, I was young before I bought my first car. I was like, man, I want to buy a BMW. That was my favorite car. I was like, I'm going to get me a BMW. I love that thing. I used to watch it, search it, do research. And then then somebody told me, you know how much it costs to do an oil change for a BMW? I said, no. It's about 300 something. The parts are expensive because they're imported, the foreign. When he said that, I was like, for real? Guess what? I didn't go buy that damn BMW. I said, F that thing. The hell I look like? I bought me a nice Honda Accord. It was nice. They ran the oil change was $30. The parts was all local. I didn't let that stuff. You don't let that stuff take you. You understand? Don't let the part of life, all those things take over and be like, you know what? Nah, I want this. I gotta have it. He got it. I gotta have it. Nah, the word will be choke. Go to 2 Peter chapter 2, read verse 7 and 8. So how should our state of mind be? How should our state of mind be? 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 7 and 8.
The book of 2 Peter, chapter 2, and verse 7. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 7. And delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked.
So remember, when God was destroying Sodom, who did he deliver?
And delivered just Lot,
Uh-huh.
vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked.
That's how you have to be. You have to be vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. You hear that stuff? Get away from it. Don't let people come talk to you about wickedness. Don't matter how small it is. They come to you with a small thing. The demon inside them that they don't even know will say, oh, he hearkened to this. He listened to this. Next time, I'm gonna bring a little more. You understand? Somebody may come, hey, show you a video at work or something. Oh, look at this girl. And you see a girl with a tight dress walking. Damn, she fine as hell. That's your type? They're asking you that. And to you, you answer, you be like, yeah. Nah, I prefer the dark skinned one. Don't even you answering like that, you fell for the trap. You gotta answer, listen, don't ever show me that crap anymore. I'm a married man. Don't come to me with that nonsense. That's how you have to be. You see things, you see people, hey man, listen, I found a new way to make $1 million. You see all that stuff? Don't let that stuff take over you and choke you. That's it in the script?
No, sir.
Read.
For that righteous man dwelling among them, and seeing and hearing, vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds.
That's how you should be. You should be vexed with it. Sirach chapter 15, verse 13. You should be vexed with it. So that's how your mind should be. You should start to be vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. Remember, 1 Corinthians 15, verse 33, it says, evil communication corrupt good manners. Read.
The book of Sirach, chapter 15 and verse 13. The Lord hateth all abominations.
The Lord what?
The Lord hateth all abomination.
God said he hates all abomination. Read.
And they that fear God love it not.
And you also should not love abomination. You should hate it. That's the kind of mindset you should have, to hate abomination. Go to Baruch chapter 4, verse 6.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved God to wrath.
So that's what we have to understand. We were sold here because we moved God to wrath. It's not for our destruction, it's for us to get right. That's how your mind should be. Let me get right. Let me see what pleases God. Let me see how I should be. Let me see the kind of mindset I need to have. Let me see how his mindset is. Study the scriptures so your mindset could match God's mindset. Strive for that. God says, what? Read it again.
Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved God to wrath, ye were delivered unto the enemies.
Now go to Daniel chapter 12, read verse 9.
The book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 9. And he said, Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. Many shall be purified and made white.
Sorry, not Daniel. I'm like, what's going on? Deuteronomy 12, verse 9. Deuteronomy 12, verse 9.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 12 and verse 9.
Yep.
For ye are not as yet come to the rest and to the inheritance which the Lord your God giveth you.
So God says, listen, you have not come to the inheritance that God have given us. We are not there yet. All right. So since we're not there yet, let's continue and strive to get there. All right. Because you saw what he did to the first generation that came out. Now go to Proverbs chapter 3, read verse 31.
The book of Proverbs
chapter 3, read verse 31.
Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Don't choose none of the oppressor's ways. Don't envy him. Do not choose their ways. Do not do that. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 23. Don't choose none of the oppressor's ways. When you start to choose the oppressor's ways, you forget God. You start to say their ways are better. Read.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 9 and verse 23. Thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am the Lord, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth.
That's what you got to glory in. Understand that. Glory in that God exercised kindness, judgment, and all that. That's what you got to glory in. Don't glory in the unfruitful things of this world. No, that's not how you should be. Sirach 15, verse 13. Sorry, we read that already. Let's go to Mark chapter 8. Read verse 35.
The book of Mark, chapter 8 and verse 35.
Yep.
For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
Read it again.
Verse 35. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. For what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
So God says, what will it profit you if you gain the whole world and lose your soul? You understand? Nothing. Now let's go to, we're about to wrap it up. Go to Haggai chapter 1, verse 7.
The book of Haggai, chapter 1, verse 7. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways.
Do what?
Consider your ways.
That's what God says. God says, consider your ways. That's what we got to do. We got to consider our ways and see if everything is all right with us. Are we doing right by God? You understand? Consider your ways. See, are you comfortable with the evil in this world? If you're not, then strive for the kingdom. Fight against it, preach against it, teach against it. Do things that will take this kingdom down because it's full of wickedness. All right. With that, I say shalom. Saint Christ bless.